What's up, everybody, and welcome to Moments with the Mobleys. I am your man, Johnnie Mobley Jr.
Hey, y'all, I'm his wife, Deirdra.
You sure? You said that real slow. Let's try that again. What's up, everybody, and welcome. This is to Moments with the Mobleys. I am your man, Johnnie Mobley Jr.
Hey, y'all, I'm his wife, Deirdra.
Said it slow again. And we something like an ordinary couple.
With extraordinary purpose. Great evening. How are you? Greetings, salutations, accolades, and blessings.
I'm not going to keep reminding you.
Hey, patrons, how y'all doing? Doing fine.
Reminding you to say your thing. And when I say I'm your man, Johnnie Mobley Jr., you need to say I'm his wife, Deirdra, a little quicker. You pause and then like you're not certain you want to be my wife.
I might want to be poached.
You know, I poached like an egg in a frying pan.
Oh, you gonna put me in the frying pan?
That's the only poach you gonna be. That's the only poach you gonna be.
I love your lips.
Thank you.
You're welcome. You had a good day?
It was good. I went to the doctor today to find out I ain't had to go to the doctor.
Because it was a televisit. However, it wasn't your fault, baby.
No.
It wasn't your fault. The text said office visit.
Then my doctor called me on my cell phone. It was about to give me the business. I know. She said, I know you ain't missed your appointment. Did you know? I said, I did not know it was a televisit. What you mean? I said, the text I got said I'm supposed to be there in the office. She talked about, oh my God. I said, so you gotta take
Check your people.
Check your people. Don't come. Don't do that. She talked about, I'll take care of it. I said, okay. I got a text saying,
check your people.
Come to the office. But we talked, and I told her a couple of things, and she documented it, and she said I have to go back in 2 weeks. So, but I'll meet in the office in 2 weeks.
Well, you are well.
I told her I felt
some polo-ish. You got polo on your head, polo on your face, polo on your body, your shirt, on your chest, polo on your backside.
And Nike.
You got
on my
Nike
feet.
on your feet though.
You got to buy me some polo slippers.
All right. You got to give me the money.
Last time I wore this, somebody said I looked like I was with the Bloods.
Well, you covered under the blood of Jesus.
That's what I said.
Red is for the blood.
But she the one said that.
Oh my God.
I'm breaking the third wall.
No, you're not. You don't break the wall. You're trying to get her to break the wall.
I'm pointing. And if y'all know who I'm pointing to, this is Allison. She's co-owner of Swati Media, our media. She said it.
You're crazy.
Never been in a gang in my life. But she called me that.
You was in a gang for Jesus.
Jesus ain't got no gang.
We are kingdom gang.
It's not a gang.
Gang. We gang.
Throw the sign up. How you throw the sign up? What would you throw up? The cross.
Okay. There you go. That stank nail.
So that's the
nothing but the blood
this is the
of Jesus.
And that's what you're saying?
Oh, precious
who we battle against?
Is the flow. We don't fight the flesh. We battle not against flesh and blood, but spirits, powers, principalities.
Oh.
Mm-hmm. You know what you use to we don't fight. We don't fight. The Lord fights our battles. However, there's power in your tongue. You go into your heavenly language. Let me hear your heavenly language. Dundabo. Okay. Come on, boy. Let's talk about this. Let's talk about.
Something wrong with you. So
when I felt myself withdrawing a little bit.
Withdrawing what?
I was withdrawing from Johnnie a little bit, and we decided to talk about it.
Yeah, she's been withdrawing. Told her she when she get in the car on the ride home, instead of having conversation with me, she like this on her phone.
Because I don't really get to look at it during the day. So I'll be looking to see what's going on. I'll be looking to see how many views we got. I'll be looking to see like what our, bonus structure looks like and stuff like that. And I update you on that as well, baby. The only difference is with you just wait till you go in the bathroom at night. And then you be in there for hours, sitting there on that toilet for hours and hours.
Social media get you
and hours.
They pull you in. I look at like Facebook and then little Instagram, and then they got all these videos, and then you go to TikTok,
and then it'd be 12 hours later. But you get on me though.
I haven't done that in a while.
It's okay.
Have you noticed that?
Right. Why haven't you done that in a while?
I've been trying to spend time with you.
No,
you
your booty
withdraw.
got numb the last time you did it.
You don't withdraw.
What?
I'm trying to be more present in your place, in your personal space, so you can see. Here I am, and you be like, huh?
I know you ain't said that.
There I am.
Lies you tell.
What's wrong?
Lies you tell. Why are you lying on me, Johnny?
Am I lying?
You are.
Is it a lie?
It is a lie.
I apologize, man, that you feel like it's a lie. But when you slap me and I tell you it hurt, you need to listen to what I'm saying. We gonna keep it pushing. All right, what we talking about today?
Nothing. Remember you told me you would do it without me? You would do the show without me?
You said
so
you wasn't doing the show. So I'm going to take my water
and I'm about to go upstairs.
You said you wasn't doing the show. I mean, if I need to do it by myself, I'll do it. But afterwards, we're going to have some words.
Well, I feel like you can say the words to me right now so we can record it in case I come up missing or something.
No, and you ain't going to come up missing.
Or hurt. I bruise easy.
And beat you on the bottom of your foot.
And I'm going to take pictures of the bottom of my foot. So we're talking about when a partner withdraws and some reasons why a partner withdraws. And because Johnny and I do marriage coaching as well, we sometimes deal with just people who are having issues. And so, again, our whole mission and the whole decision to start this podcast was to help other marriages. And so, we want to share some of these things with you all. We've shared them with numerous amount of people, of couples, when they have issues in their relationships, and things to do to avoid, one person withdrawing, because of, whatever reasons that they may have. They may be going through something, or, something may come up that's happened in the past, or just whatever the reasons are. And so we are going to share that with you all. What's that, baby?
I don't know. I'll put it right there for right now. Like a little piece of lint.
Piece of lint. Yeah.
Make sure it wasn't no bug because you were going to flip over everything.
Right. And I'm glad you just took it off and then you told me about it later. But some of the key points that we'll share with you, that a withdrawing partner often becomes even more inaccessible when pressed for the reason. And I think we've even had some of that in our marriage.
Yeah, when pressed for the reason.
Earlier, when Johnny would be like, "Well, babe, what's wrong?" And obviously, I was crying, and obviously there was something wrong.
But your answer would be, nothing.
My answer would be continuously nothing. Through crying, and being visibly distraught, I would just continue to say nothing, and so. It's just, saying when you press in the other, your spouse or your girlfriend, boyfriend, whatever relationship you're in, if you're not married yet, then they tend to withdraw even more. Common reasons why a partner withdrawal includes betrayal, internal personal conflicts, and the reemergence of trauma. It's common.
And all three of these things are real.
Common.
They are most definitely real and are very, very much so primary reasons why a person will.
Right. Lastly, there are times in every relationship when one partner becomes unavailable to the other while going inward to understand. Wow, it says one partner becomes unavailable to the other while going inward to understand.
So can I explain that a little bit?
Yeah, because I think I actually, encountered that myself.
So what happens here is this is the lack of communication and listening. So what happens here is if you don't talk, then you create a story in your mind. And then that story in your mind becomes a novel and a long life like journal of what you believe is happening that is actually not happening. It's just what you think is happening, but you haven't communicated with your spouse and talked to them. Perfect example is when me and Deirdra was going through what we was going through in the beginning of our marriage, the communication was awful. So I would try to talk. Like she said, she would cry or whatnot. So from what I saw, I didn't make her happy. So every time I talked to her, I just didn't make her happy. She cried all the time. It was nothing I could do right. So that's the story that created in my mind. And I was just like, well, maybe I ain't the dude for her. Because, although we got kids and stuff together, she just don't seem to be happy. And then with her, it was this joker keep impregnating me and I got all these kids and I don't want to be no mama like this right now with all these kids. I need to find out who I am. So it was a lot of stuff she would, but the whole thing
But I was never mad at you for getting me pregnant. I was never mad at you because I opened my legs. So I wasn't mad at you for I was mad at you for different things that went on in the relationship. Because you was a good talker. You were a real good talker. And a lot of it wasn't true. And I knew that, but I didn't know how to really verbalize that fully.
That's
Hold on, y'all.
Pause.
It's the popo. So patrons, y'all get a nice glimpse into the fact that Allison and Jameson's daughter, the owners of Swadium Media, their daughter decided she was calling 911. And so she may not have called again, but like you say, they may have just sent somebody out. And so Jameson got the phone after the baby called 911 and assured them that everything was okay. However, because we live in a great community, they decided to send someone out. And guess what? This is the second time Katie has called the police. It's been a few months since she's done it. That's a way back through the window. Right, we're okay. Girl, I was looking at the thing and I saw a package, but that was from a previous recording, and then it updated, and then I saw Buddy standing outside the door. That dang old Katie. It's sad when you got to ban the 1-year-old from your house. That's what I told Allison. I said, well, the good thing about that is we live in a really nice neighborhood community. They come in to check and make sure we all right.
Hey, sir, I just wanted, and I had Katie with me. She was like, she just wanted to talk to somebody. Daddy already talked to somebody. We good. She said, okay, we just wanted to come on out.
Right.
She just wanted to talk to somebody at the time. We were having adult conversation.
Right. And so she just picked up the phone and called 911.
She wanted to talk.
That is hilarious. Mm-hmm. I explained to them who Katie was, baby. To the patrons who Katie was. So back to the story. Okay, and so what I was telling you was that it wasn't that I was like mad at you for impregnating me, because we had fun getting pregnant, Mm-hmm. Well, not necessarily getting pregnant, but doing it to get, well, not pregnancy. Well, we had to know something was going to happen because, but of course at that point we were married.
Yeah.
But It was a matter of, like I said, just some other things that were going on. For a while, I think I turned inwardly because some of the things I think I wasn't ready to have the conversation with you about.
Yeah.
And so instead of just saying that to you, I wasn't
Present.
sure. Well, I wasn't sure about even how to say it. You know what I'm saying? Because I was still concerned about your feelings, even though like I said, some of the things you would tell me and stuff like that, I'd be like, I don't really know if I believe that, or just knowing that we both were just trying to figure life out.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? We were still kids raising kids, and so sometimes I didn't even know how to say what I wanted to say. That's just the crazy part about it.
And it was
I didn't know. So
it was a huge disconnect because I know at one point in time we felt connected, and I think that was the, I always say that's the foaminess of the relationship.
Mm-hmm.
So once the foam, left and dissolved, then, and what I mean by foam is the lust part, the sex part, the hotness of the marriage, and all this other stuff. But then when the life stuff started happening, and the kids and the growing up, and the mommy daddy stuff, and then the paying the bills and all this other stuff, then other emotions started coming in, other feelings started coming in about different stuff. And then if you don't talk and communicate healthy, then what happens is, like I said, you will create stories in your mind of things that happen. Like I created the story that she didn't like me, I wasn't good for her, I wasn't a man for her, and that never was what it was. It was that she was dealing with some stuff herself.
right.
So, and being that she didn't know how to express it or didn't really know what it was, that's how it happened. And it was a huge disconnect for a long time.
Yeah.
A long time. And then once we made up our mind to actually, once we made up our mind of the realization that we're going to be together and we're going to raise these girls and we're going to have a relationship, then that was the catalyst for the huge change.
Right.
So we had to really input and pour into each other to actually find out. So that's when I think we first was naked, like completely naked in feelings and emotions and everything.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
But with that being said, like I said, when it says going inward to understand, that's that creating that story of what you think is going on. And if you got and I'm gonna tell you what empowers that is if you got people in your life, in your circle that you talk to that are chameleons. And what I mean by that is they will change into whoever you need them to change into for that situation. So if they don't have a mind of their own, if they don't support you and want to see your marriage or your relationship or whatever it is go well, if they still trying to figure out who they are, then what happens is they just kind of change in whoever you need them to be at the time. So, if he ain't nothing and he's sorry and he this, girl, but you might as well leave him. I got somebody else you can holler at. And and that might not be what needs to happen, because if, they're in their feelings, then that's what can come out. I always tell people, I got two gentlemen that I talk to, I call my brothers. And when I call them, when I have situations like that, I pour that toxic stuff out to them, and they take it and they put it where it needs to go at. But what they usually do is allow me to say what I'm gonna say or whatever the case is, and I might get a every now and then and then I'll finish saying what I'm saying, and they be like, yeah, you got to go and apologize, right? Yeah, I know. That's how that usually go. They tell me the truth. They let me get it out. But once you get out that anger and everything, then what usually happens is you feel better. You in a better thinking space. So now you can actually deal with the reality of what needs to happen for the situation.
Yeah.
And your
Able
feelings
to
and stuff ain't
process,
got to all be in it.
you know,
Yeah.
clearly and focused. But again, we're sharing, you know, how to, I guess, recognize those signs that your partner is, you know, now withdrawing, and to share like what could be the cause of them withdrawing.
Yeah, so let me read these some examples. These are some examples that Psychology Today give, that some phrases you might hear. One of them is, he no longer the man I knew. He's no longer the man I knew. He denies there is anything I should be worried about, but I know it's not true.
Or she reacts to my questions with irritation and impatience, and she's never done that before. She's in deep conflict. Something is up, and she can't share it.
Yeah. Or he seems preoccupied and into his own world. We've always shared everything. Even if it was hard, now I can't even get him to look at me.
Yeah, I know she's afraid, or this is another one. I know she's afraid to tell me, but she's always come to me before when she's struggling with something. I don't want to invade her privacy, but somehow this seems different. Everything in me says we need to do something. And so you find yourself trying to decipher this behavior.
That's what the catalyst. That's the catalyst of, if you're not talking to me, then my mind goes to wondering, and then I conjure up my own story about what's going on.
Right.
So she's in deep conflict. Something is up, and she can't share it.
Yeah.
You know.
And so they're asking, like, why does a partner who was previously like available would come and talk to me, you know, would share what's going on? Why have they suddenly disconnected or are not sharing anymore? And so the first thing is that they give as a reason why your partner may withdraw is betrayal. So. And this, of course, is unpredictable because nobody expects to be betrayed. You know.
Yeah.
It says the behavior generated by betrayal is that internal preoccupation is obvious and rarely responds to attempts to question. It says unpredictable withdrawal is often a sign of infidelity, whether consummated or not. The behavior generated by that internal preoccupation is obvious and rarely responds to attempts to question. But other behaviors are betrayals in other ways, such as addictions, external personal threats, or bad decisions that are embarrassing or hurtful to your spouse or to the security of the relationship.
Yeah.
So it could be a betrayal, you know, like they give the examples, you know, a whole full-fledged infidelity, sleeping with somebody else, or a betrayal in these other ways, like they said, you know, you're, you know, you may have had an addiction that you're now back into. You know, or a first time in one, and the partner could feel betrayed. Because, you know, it's like when you get married, you don't expect to be betrayed by your spouse.
Yeah.
And so when something like that happens, a lot of times it is the betrayal of, you know, your husband or your wife, you know, sleeping with another woman or with another man, or it don't even have to be it being consummated. It could be just that betrayal of conversation.
Yeah. Emotionally attached feelings.
Right.
Or it can be something as simple as you talking to your mama, men or women, you talking to your mama and saying, you know, yeah, mama, but she just can't cook. She can't cook.
Negative
but
things about your spouse.
You
and
know,
she walks in
she's
on that
working
conversation.
on it. Yeah, but she hear you talking to somebody else about her.
Right.
Or vice versa.
Right.
You know, wives talking to their girlfriends or their dad, whatever the case is, and he just sorry. When he get home, he don't want to do nothing, and you know, this, that, and the other. And they walk in on that conversation. That's the last person you would want, you know, the feel of betrayal. So that can cause a partner to withdraw from you because the trust is broken.
Yeah.
So what happens with, you know, us need to stay here and we need to figure out how to fix it. And if we can't fix it, then we both make a decision to bring a neutral person in to help, whether that be a counselor or whatever the case is. But for you to just be chatting and gossiping to whoever, telling them that I ain't good, or I'm, you know,
I thought you was going to say something. Why did we stop talking? Why did you stop talking?
Because I was thinking something, but I can't say that. I was thinking something in my mind.
Thank you.
And then I said, I can't say that. Because then Allison will probably break this on third wall.
Right. Well, also it could be something as, as hurtful as a lie that's been told, and now you find out that that wasn't true. Yeah. He wasn't where he said he was. She wasn't where she said she was. They wasn't with who they say they were. So any type of betrayal like that could lead to that withdrawal from your partner. And the way to, whatever layer or level of betrayal that you feel that has happened to you, or that your spouse may have feel that have happened to them, or your partner feel that have happened to them, if especially when there's a betrayal, that trust got to be back built up. You know what I'm saying? So some truths are gonna have to come out about what was said or what wasn't said, and work towards building the trust back up, because betrayal is easy to break it, or easy to betray your husband or wives, your husband or husband your wives. It's easy to betray, for that to happen like immediately, but it takes time to recover from it. Yeah. And that's what a lot of people don't understand, I think.
And it's not a time limit. We always kind of give examples of a physical injury. So if you was to break your arm, or you was to get a deep stabbing that goes to the bone, you can get it stitched up and everything, but as quick as that might happen, a break or a stab, it takes like almost quadruple time for it to heal. Mm-hmm. So when it comes to this type stuff, we don't put a time limit on it.
Right.
And then the reason I say that is because, in our marriage, when it happened, when the infidelity happened, one of the things that I was led, that I couldn't, the Holy Spirit told me, you got to allow her to feel all this when she feel it or whatever, because you were the one that impacted this pain on her. So you can't impact the pain on her and then tell her when to stop hurting. That type stuff. So I had to allow her to go through what she went through, and then I would just talk about it whenever. Now, as the time went on, the times we talked about it got, smaller and smaller, and
farther and farther in between.
I said the wrong.
Oh, you said smaller. We talked about it less often. Is that what you were saying?
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
She always trying. This is a betrayal. See how she just did that? She tried to come. I'm just playing. That wasn't a betrayal. Anyway, so we talked about it. We didn't talk about it as much. So as she began, the more she healed, the less we talked about it.
Right.
But I couldn't say, God darn, now, not saying that I'm being transparent. In my mind, sometimes my face and my posture would say, really? Mm-hmm. Again? We just talked about this. I never said that, but my posture was said. Then I learned how to not let my posture say it, but it still was in my head. So I would go through all that stuff, and I might pause before I answer the questions or talked about whatever, but I did talk about it. So, once and this goes for the husband or wife, if you bring something like that into your relationship, once you do it, you can't, and the other person has no inkling of idea what happened, what's going on, and in their mind, you got to understand that a person that is living a life with you, thinking that they're living a life one way, and then they find out a betrayal like that, like infidelity, then in their mind, it automatically goes back to how long you been doing it, how many people you done did it with, what's true, what's not. When you going to the store, are you really going to the store? It don't take you that long. When you going out with the fellas, you going out with your girls. See, all that stuff start happening. So now you allowed something that come in your relationship that is planted in the person's mind. And it takes a minute for that to leave, because the trust has to be built back up. And that takes time.
Okay. You said it well. The next one is internal. I don't know. I want to say interpersonal, internal personal conflicts. So it says as people go through different stages of life, they sometimes put aside desires in order to not challenge the relationship's inability to fulfill them. So they intentionally bury those sacrifices and try to make them irrelevant. But over time, those suppressed desires may emerge, making the lives they have chosen feel less and less fulfilling. Oh.
Yeah.
That's like for real. That's real.
That's
real.
But again, this is another key that can be like completely diminished by just communicating.
It could, but you find, like they said, afraid to bring it up or not,
Because
like suppressing it because they don't want to rock the boat or they want, I'm here now, I'm married, we're married now, we ended up with these 4 kids and I know I wanted to, pursue law school or I know I wanted to do that. So, and we talked about that I was going to go to school for this and we talked about we was going to do this, that, and the other, but then life happened, kids came, different things happened.
Yeah.
But it says they're torn between the promises they've made to themselves and their partners,
yeah.
And their increasing hunger to live out all those suppressed dreams. You begin to feel trapped, and then I really didn't want to be a mama this young, and I wanted to go to school, and I wanted all these other things, but I love him, and I love my kids, and all these stuff or whatever. And it says they hope that they'll be able to force those feelings of wanting to live out those, desired things that they had talked about, but they don't want to share that whole thing because it will cause their partners unnecessary pain.
I don't.
Yeah, it's real. You would want to think that it would be as easy as saying, baby, I don't really want to, we got these kids. We talked about me going to school before these kids came, and now I'm not able to do it, or you know what I'm saying, or a husband, things that they desire to do, and they've suppressed it because they just got to sacrifice and make a way for the family, or just whatever. But some of those things happen, and some people will do it, and it'll be okay. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Some people will do it, and it'll be okay, and then they'll maybe pursue it later in life after the kids are gone. Or, you know what I'm saying? Or after the situation or circumstance have changed.
They create a plan.
Right.
So everything in life is not exact. So
it's not.
You live on a day-to-day basis. Anything is liable to happen. God forbid you get in a crazy accident and, something happens and, you lose a limb or you lose something. And now, your spouse who y'all had a plan and was working. Mm-hmm. Now you actually got to take care of your spouse or whatever the case. Anything can happen.
You're right.
But my whole thing is when stuff like that happen, you create a plan that fits that now. The thing about it is once stuff change in your life, you can change your plan.
But some people don't even know how to do that.
They don't.
Baby. They don't. And it's very true. It's very true. Yeah. It's very valid because they get stuck in that place of, and not to say that it would be, because I think it happens, on both parts, the male and the female. But at the end of the day, I think it wasn't that aggressive for me. But I think there were days when I was like, man, I enjoyed doing what it took to make all these kids, and I love them because they're my kids, but this happened real fast.
But the one thing that I can say is whenever you came to me and you had a dream or you had a project or you had something, I always supported you.
You did.
Regardless
even
of
if
what
it was crazy as all get out.
It was crazy as all get out. It didn't matter. Even if I thought this ain't finna work. Yeah, this ain't gonna work.
You would make a way for it.
But what I would do is, because this is my thing. I always feel like people try different things until they hit what they need to do. So if you don't get it out your system, then it just this is what happens. Mm-hmm. You're upset, you're mad because you shoulda, woulda, coulda. I coulda did this, I coulda did that. But I think when you try different things, different projects, regardless of what they are, when you try them and it doesn't work out, then I think that makes you dig deeper to find out what it really is you're supposed to do. So when you went to school, you was able to go to school, you graduated, your kids were able to celebrate with you when you did that. And that was tough. I was able to go back to school. I did it online while driving trucks and everything. So we always supported each other in whatever dream we wanted to go after, regardless of what it was. We just knew it was gonna take time, and I'm gonna tell you why I honestly think that came from having all them kids. Cause that wasn't. I mean, we didn't have a plan on having.
We didn't have a plan
family
at all.
We were just.
It was just bunnies.
We were just like
popping.
I was like, darn,
popping
again.
But yeah, there are people. Who are still living that right now. Yeah.
They stuck 10 years, 12 years. They could have
20 years,
been whatever they wanted to be.
years.
They had a plan and it didn't work out because this happened. I know, we know couples who had babies and the babies, came out, handicapped or autistic or whatever the case is. They didn't plan for that.
Yeah.
But having an autistic kid or a handicapped kid, whatever that is, whatever that handicap is, that requires more than just having a healthy kid.
Yeah.
The healthy kid is a handful as well, but it's just certain things that happen in life that that wasn't your plan.
Yeah.
So
yeah,
for us, it was, and I get it. For some people, it's not easy.
It's not easy.
They stuck. They'll blame their spouse, especially if they don't have a spouse who will support.
Right.
If
and then you find spouses actually leaving, especially like after the kids leave, if they felt like they've suppressed what they wanted to do for so long, and that and their mate didn't support them or didn't like help them plan to do it or
after
just whatever, or if they've
kids graduated,
especially if they've been having roommate mentality, man, he or she is dipping.
It done been 25 years.
Yeah.
We got these kids gone.
Yeah,
I'm gonna holler at you. They bumped his fist. All right. And they go on their separate ways.
Yeah. Yep. The next one is unpredictable personal crisis. You just touched on this a little bit. You probably didn't even realize it. But there are times when hard challenges comes, and you described it as maybe being a child. But in this instance, it was like you said, the one partner finds out they have a serious but curable illness that could burden the relationship, could cause unnecessary distress. A financial loss could happen that poses a temporary threat, or a friend or family member needs help and is more important to one partner than the other. That's something that could cause a crisis. Or it may be that a normally stoic partner feels unable to function at the expected level and is too embarrassed to let that be known.
Oh, Jesus.
Pride and failure have been the demise of a lot of marriages. Pride and fear of failure keep that partner from sharing, choosing instead to solve the dilemma independently, and therefore withdraws from the other partner.
So this is the crazy thing. So we've met couples who the woman was driven, focused, visionary, going after what she wanted to do, got 3-4 babies, going to law school, working a job, doing all this stuff, and the man just worked part-time somewhere. Wasn't really helping with the kids, was kind of chilling, or vice versa. The man had vision, he was doing all this stuff, and the woman was. But my take on that is, in your relationship, in your marriage, my momentum and your momentum, it doesn't have to match, but it got to be in the same area.
We need to be on the same page, though.
Yeah, it has to be in the same area. So if it's my time to pull our family up the mountain, then if I'm in front, I don't need to be no more than about 2-3 steps ahead of y'all. So I don't need to be 75 steps ahead of y'all, and then y'all not there and I'm out of sight. So I move at the momentum.
Well, I'm helping to pull the wagon up the mountain, baby.
I know. But this is the thing. I move this is how I've always saw it. I move at a momentum that when I'm moving, all of y'all can tell me. And if the momentum, everything is going right, then my momentum helps pull y'all. Mm-hmm. Almost like tailing a truck. People used to say when a big truck is driving, you get behind a big truck, then their momentum, they have at least a car and a half length behind them that can help the car move and don't exert as much fuel and all that. So that's what people used to do back in the day. I don't think they still do that, but so that's how I see it always been. And here's the crazy thing. It's sometimes to where I get to a place where I'm kind of tired and you got more momentum. So you get in front and then you pull and then all of us move. It was sometimes when the kids had more momentum and they was in the front and they was pulling us. So it's like if it's a team effort and everybody trusts and believes in everybody. Yeah. So it shouldn't matter, but it should never be somebody's climbing a ladder way faster than they spouse, than their family. It shouldn't be like that. And a lot of people feel like if I climb this mountain and I move this fast and I go up this, I'm doing it for the family. But yeah, you get to a level to where, your wife doesn't feel worthy. Like, he's a big president of the something now. And, I'm supposed to go to college for this, that, and the other. And now, her self-esteem is dropped because you in meetings and talks with all these people. And now your verbiage done change and you learning more and your skill set. It just keep going. But you're not pouring nothing into your family or your wife. So now, she don't feel like I can say nothing because I embarrass him. I don't want to go to nothing. Or vice versa. The same thing with a woman.
Wow.
And that's what I think it gets. And that's a disconnect. That's a disconnect. When a man or a woman doesn't feel like they can tell their spouse something, then that's a disconnect, because if I feel some kind of way and for whatever reason, my perception is that you're making me feel that way, then if I don't tell you, who am I supposed to tell?
Right.
Because if I don't tell you, ain't nobody else. I mean, if I tell you, then we can talk about it and it can possibly be solved.
Right.
But if I tell my homeboys and them, they go try to give me advice. But at the end of the day, the guys I got with me now, they'll tell me, come talk to you.
Well, and I understand exactly what you're saying, but in this last part, like it was saying, but that stoic partner, or that partner who's used to having it all together, and knowing what to do, if they get into a place where they can't function like they normally do, they can't allow pride and fear to keep them, the failure of fear, to keep them from sharing it with their spouse and trying to do it by themselves as well as vice versa, them trying to, the spouse not trying to be a support or whatever.
And then what winds up happening is the spouse tries to solve it without
and then withdraws, but inwardly, and trying to move without the other one, instead of just saying, babe, I ain't got it, or I'm like stuck.
I don't understand.
I don't understand. Yeah.
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 Basically. You told me you said I didn't say stuff because I didn't really know how to articulate, and I ain't want you. You said now that you didn't want me to look at you crazy, and that's crazy to me.
Yeah, but that was the opinion that I formed inwardly. Yeah.
But that ain't your feelings no more.
It's not.
Yeah.
It's not. I tell you what's on my mind.
Yep.
If you and I can even fashion a conversation that we had not too long ago into this this right here that we just read, because we're talking about some things that we're in the process of doing.
Yeah.
And I think you know this, that I look to you to know everything. Do you know that?
Yeah.
Do you know that?
Yeah.
You do? Is that too much pressure?
No, a little bit.
No, I want you to tell me the truth. Is that too much pressure?
A little
I
bit.
legit think you know everything.
But what it does for me is it pushes me. So a lot of stuff, crazy enough, a lot of stuff I do know. But then some stuff you ask me, I don't know. But here's the thing. You've picked up a lot of my characteristics. So now if I say I don't know, then you'll go look it up.
Right.
So, but that's what I would do in the past. If you asked me something or we was talking about something or whatever, I go find information on it. And then we'll have a conversation and then we'll custom make it for our relationship.
Right.
So, but you got some of my characteristics now, so you actually do that. But you will ask me, and then sometimes you ask me about stuff and then you are already ready. And then he said, did you know that? And I'm like, nah.
Yeah. I mean, I'm just asking because that's just what came in my mind. Like, ask him, does he know that you that you think he know everything?
Every now and then
that's what
when
I'm
you
saying.
come
Because
to me,
sometimes that could be a little pressure. Even with the things that weird. We got a whole lot of stuff going on behind the scenes, y'all, and we eventually will share. But that's why when I came to you earlier and I asked you, well, baby, what we were talking about, so and so and so and so, and you was like, yeah, but I got to do this and I got to see this or whatever. I just know that with this new thing that's coming, what I have to sometimes stop and tell myself is, this is new for you, Deirdra, but this is not necessarily new for you. You know what I'm saying? Because you have a lot of expertise in this area. However, just got it right, and just got to kind of figure out some other things that are added because it'll be us doing it from a new perspective or from a new position. So, but I had to remind myself when I talked to you earlier, like he may not have moved forward with some things because he's a little leery about it too. And there may be a little fear there for him too. And so I'll never treat you as if you're less than because there are times when you fear. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. When we move forward on something, if I'm confident in some things. I'm confident in a lot of things, but the way my mind thinks is every decision that I make is going to affect you. It's going to affect the family.
I know.
So I'm always thinking in that posture.
I know.
So in my mind, sometimes I'll be like, all right. This ain't hit the 80. This ain't hit the 85 percentile. We gonna need to hold up a minute on this because my baby like to get this. We not at this. She like this, and this gonna have to stop. And this, So sometimes I do that. But the great thing about that is you the type of person is let's just jump. Yeah, but if we jump. These parachutes don't work, and we both jump. The churn ain't got no more mama or daddy.
But
they got no granddaddy.
But
you the person like, well, baby, let's just do it. I'm like, man, all right, let's pull forward. So I'll say this: you are more the daredevil when it comes to stuff. I will move forward on a lot of stuff if the system and the plan is in a percentile of what I believe that is going to be successful.
And I'm there going, baby, the just Lord move. Got us. And because he ain't going to just lay the whole plan out in front of our face.
You're right.
He ain't going to do it. He ain't going to do it.
You're right.
Period.
And I've been like that for the longest.
I know.
Because I got you and the girls.
I know.
So, now that the girls are not here no more and some of them got their own families now, I can rest in that because they married the great men. And, but we got a couple of them, still in the mixer. Still in the mixer trying to, move forward. So, even with that, I want to,
But I know that can be a lot on you. That's why I said I always try to offer. That's why, y'all, that's why I stay in the face of Jesus. Because you have to be careful what you say to your spouse at certain times and how you say it, and like let the Holy Spirit lead you when to pour in and when to say different things, and what to say and how to build your mate up. And I guess I need to be looking at y'all as I'm saying it. Like, there'll be times when you absolutely do have to know the right things to say, especially when you know that both of y'all may be facing this new thing that y'all are doing, that you don't make your spouse feels like he's less than if there's something he doesn't know, or if there's something that he's kind of hesitant about. Being together for so long as we've been together, I know you and you know me.
Yeah.
And so I know that a lot of times, like you say, if the thought or of what you're putting down on paper, if it don't get to a certain percentage to where you feel like really, really almost sure that it's going to work, you be like, I don't really know. And I'd be like, sir, we say we trust God, and when are we going to actually act like we trust him? Yeah.
And we both throw scriptures like, she be like, you got to have faith and move. Either you trust God or you don't. I say, yeah, but he said, be wise in all you're doing. And
you're right. And
wise decisions.
And I struggle with that as well, but I'm like, we've been in this, with him long enough to know, like, he ain't going to just say, here go my plan for y'all.
Yeah.
Shoot. Because y'all act like y'all just ain't going to move unless I show y'all the whole plan.
If he did do that, I'd be like, oh, well, Jesus, 4, 5, and 6 ain't gonna work.
Right.
We need to change that.
Right.
And Jesus be like, no, it's gonna work.
But we remind each other, and we're gonna jump to the other two. We remind each other that we want to have even not the same faith as, but the even greater faith than the faith we had for this house. Because like the faith we had for this house was just like completely just stupid, because you could literally have come and showed me maybe that, the house had started getting built, and then a bulldozer was driving down the street and mistakenly, ran into it and knocked it down. And our answer would have been, we don't care. We still gonna close on our house because the Lord said that that's our house.
We'd be like, okay.
Yeah, we was like,
so
okay.
It'll be pushed back.
Like our demeanor, right?
4 more months.
Right.
All right. We'll wait.
All right. Whatever. That was literally our posture, and so we just, I feel like he wants us to have, like I said, not that level, was because we go. He wants us to have an even higher and an even greater level of faith for this next thing. And so I'm excited about it. And so I'm going to keep on, just gently nudging, saying, go, baby. Go. Go ahead, baby. Go. No, we know that look crazy. Yeah, we know what the mortgage is. Yeah, we know what this is. But go, baby. He got us. What would you do if you know you couldn't fail?
I'd do everything.
Yeah. But the thing about that is the fight is fixed, baby. So we will not fail.
Right. But
because even things that we think are failures are not failures. They're lessons, and even that thing is working for our good.
Yeah.
So we win every time regardless, because the fight is fixed. We just forget that through the process of getting to. We forget that.
Being strategic.
I know.
We're not assigned to everything, everybody.
You're right.
In every assignment.
You're right.
So sometimes we pick assignments out of different reasons, and we were never supposed to be there.
You're right.
So that's what but those are the lessons. And we've done that in the past.
Right. And even
those
in
are
that,
the lessons.
He gently says,
yeah.
You made, no, that was a wrong decision. Go back over that way. And we'd be like, okay.
Or what he does is, don't worry about it. That's gonna fall on you.
Right.
Don't worry about it. That was gonna come for you, but I got it.
Yeah.
Don't worry about it. We're gonna make that lose that number.
Right.
Don't call them.
And then actually, a lot of times is, Okay, yeah, I'm allow that to happen. Let me see how she act. let me see what posture she's staying, or let me see what posture he's staying. Let me see, because I need them to learn something from this
Gotta build
lesson.
that muscle.
Yeah, absolutely. And so next, it's
Emerge
emergence
of trauma.
of a trauma.
Your phone dead?
It's on 5%, so it's a little dim, and I can't see it because
Okay.
yeah.
Well, we go.
But it's the
You wanna-
reemergence of trauma.
You want?
I can still see that. Most people who have lived with debilitating traumatic experiences in past lives have done whatever they can to move beyond those experiences and not let them, of course, affect their current lives. So they often have not chosen to share what happened to them with their partner,
Yep.
wanting to leave it behind, embarrassed at the experience, unwilling to relive them, or they fear judgment about it. And so, without warning, there'll be a trigger that comes up.
Yep.
Oh Lord, been there, done that,
This
y'all.
is so true.
And so if they've shared the experience with their partners, they can work through them as a couple, which was, our testimony. Praise Jesus for you, baby. And they can more easily share again when, maybe another trigger comes along. But often they have preferred to keep them, internal and hasn't shared, and keep it as a secret. And so when that when the trauma reemerges, they go completely inward.
Yep.
To burying them. Yep, that's the word. So it threatens the relationship, and we've seen many examples of this.
Yeah,
we've actually gone through this. It was me.
Yeah. And what happens? And what happens is when you don't share the trauma, then when it comes back for you, when it comes back into your life, or when it reemerges, then you're going back to old stuff, trying to handle it with your old stuff. But for your partner, this whole side of you is brand new.
Yeah.
They've never seen it. They don't know about the trauma. They don't know about none of this stuff. So when you begin to act a different way, this can actually cause a withdrawal as well.
Yeah.
Because now this is a side of you that they haven't seen, that, and now if you don't communicate, and if you go inward trying to deal with this stuff, trying not to let your partner, your spouse find out about it, or whatever the case, because you think it's going to damage the relationship. So you feel you just off in the space somewhere. Then, something is going on. You're not talking.
Right.
So, what is your spouse supposed to do? So this can, and this is the thing about this. All these things that we are saying can damage your relationship, but this is one of the ones that stems out of the core, because a lot of different things, like the betrayal part, that can stem from a trauma. All this stuff can stem some way, shape, form from a trauma.
Yeah.
From
And
your
the
childhood,
reemergence of
and
it
reemerges, and it just it's in a different area of your life now.
But it's like it's so stifling that it seems as if it's real.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
That it just happened. Like it's like it was that thing just happened, and just slapped in the wind out of you, like when it first happened for the first time.
And then everything that happened back then, all that stuff come back rushing to you. And now you responding to it different, because now you married for 15 years and you got these kids and you successful on your job and everything going good. And now you done went inward, because now you trying to deal with this and get back to a, I don't even want to say healthy place. Get back to a place to where you got it compartmentalized
once again,
and then you trying to shut this door again and lock it and put a cage on it so it can't get out, instead of actually dealing with it. That stuff, let me tell you, traumas grow. That's core stuff. So it got so many layers to it. So if you don't deal with it, and when I say deal with it, the one thing you have to do is, you have to be delivered from it.
Right. And admit it.
Yeah, you have to be delivered from it. You have to talk about it. You have to get it out. One way the enemy always has power over you is by your silence.
Right.
So if you don't expose it, then it has power over you. But when you keep it a secret, then that's when it keeps you trapped.
Yeah.
So this trauma you
And
have
bondage.
to, trauma you have to talk about it. You have to get delivered from it. And being delivered is literally letting it go.
Yeah.
You have to
facing
let it go.
saying it. And even if it's something that you and your spouse have experienced that was traumatic in the beginning of the relationship, or, and you may be a totally different person, your spouse may be a totally different person, but you've dealt with that trauma. And now when you see it rear its head, then you withdraw inwardly, even though your spouse may say, well, baby, talk to me, baby, tell me what's going on or whatever. And that may have been something that you didn't share. So now it's this, thing that's now, basically eating at your core because you don't know how to say it, or you don't want to talk about it. You don't want to ruffle no feathers, or you don't want to do this, or you don't want to do that. But that's the only way to be free about it. There was something that, happened with, with me, and that, when we lived in, previous apartments or something like that or whatever. And even there, I would still, I would try to juggle the bills. And even when money was short, I would try to make sure that everything stayed on. And there were times when it fell through the crack, we just didn't have it, or just whatever. And so, when we got here, I misread a due date on a bill, and
she went back.
The water got turned off, y'all. And I'm like, how in the world, in this big old house, how did I? And we came home. It was a long day. We had planned to take showers, eat dinner, have a good night together, and everything. And Johnny was like, I'm gonna go upstairs and take a shower. I said, okay. I was downstairs going through the mail. Getting ready to, I think make dinner, get that ready, or come take my shower as well, so we could, eat and have a good night. And
I jumped in the shower, turned the shower on, and the shower said,
drip, 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 drip.
I said, well, what? I looked up at the shower like it cussed me. I said, well, did I not turn the thing? I said, well, what?
Ain't nothing come.
I got out the shower and went to the sink and turned the water on, and it was running. I was like, well, would that working? So I went to turn the other one. Well, that's strange. Right. I went to Deirdra sink and okay, that's running a little bit. So I wonder where went to the step, baby.
Something with the water.
Deirdra, something going on with this water. You think, because there's been times where
we had
the
really
pressure,
bad, water
the pressure was
here.
bad.
Yeah.
But that was in the whole area.
Yeah.
So, but I was like, baby, something going on with the water. She was like, the pressure? I said, no, it's off. Like it trickled and then it went off. And then she said, huh? So she turned the water on down in the kitchen and it did the same thing. So I was like, baby, the water off? She was like, no.
No, it can't be.
So she looked at a bill and she said, God darn. She said, I missed it. I said, okay, no worries. I'm going to put all my clothes back on. I'm finna go to Dollar General.
And get us
bought us some bunch of water.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm going to bring it back. We're going to have to do,
we
got to go back to school 1 minute. And we're going to have to go and do that. So we went and got the bottles, and I took like half of the bottle. Yeah, I went and got a bottle, took half of them upstairs. But when I walked back in the house, she was a mess. And she just looked at me and she said, I'm so sorry. I said, baby, it happens. You human. And I said, you, Deirdra, this is not 10 years, 15 years ago.
Yeah.
Because this is how she was. So in the past, when that stuff would happen, and I made demands. I was like, look, you got to don't let this air get cut off. This heat don't need to go off when it's the lights don't need to go off and my cable don't need to go off. We got all them things right there. We good. So she, and I made unrealistic stuff because I wasn't in the detailed day-to-day stuff of the bill. So I wasn't positive of everything that we had. I just figured we made enough. So what I was working stupid hours. So I was thinking the money that I bring home, it got to be enough because she never said nothing. Well, come to find out, sometimes it will be enough, but these Pampers was going up. We had, Jesus, four of them in Pampers, four of them. All 5 of them was in Pampers at one time?
No, Brianna came out and then Paige was still.
Yeah.
We had
So
at
it was
least
a
3
lot.
or 4 in Pampers
So
at the same time. And then we was doing Pampers and pull-ups.
Yeah, so it was a lot going on. They was growing up. They was eating. Anyway, it was times that where stuff would get cut off, and she was trying to juggle the bills, but she wasn't talking to me. So when it would happen, she would just have a complete meltdown. Cause she was, I don't know if you was afraid I was gonna say something crazy.
Part of it was that,
so she had a complete meltdown. But every time she had a meltdown, and this is the crazy thing, every time this happened, every time you had a meltdown, we always handle it completely different.
Yeah.
Like one time the lights got cut off and we came home and you was like, yeah, we didn't have the money and I'm sorry. And I was like, don't worry about it. We ain't gonna tell the girls nothing. We're gonna go on up in here. I got the computer or the tablet or whatever we have fired up.
It was a tablet.
We about to have a inside the house camp out. And that's what we did. We was all in the one room. We had pizza. We had candles. We watched the movie and then we went to sleep. And then they went to school. We went to work. The next day she paid the bill and the lights were back on when we came home. So I've always said, when stuff happens in the day-to-day life, like you have a plan or how you want stuff to happen. But me being the leader of the house, I had to respond a certain way so everybody will follow me that way.
Yeah.
So if I responded crazy, then of course you'd have been hurt. And then the kids would have been in chaos because they would have been looking at daddy mad and, he mad because you ain't paid the bill, so it's your fault. All that didn't need to happen. Stuff happened. So when it happened, that's how we handle it. And, that was just something that always in my head. We a team. It can't be you, you forgot to pay the bill. Boom, you out the family for a week. It just couldn't be like that.
Yeah.
Stuff happened. I made mistakes too. So, stuff happened. So that's how we handle it. But when it happened here, when I came back home, I saw the past on you. And I was like,
that ain't what we doing.
I held her in my arms. I said, shake that off. Because that's not what this is. We gonna be fine. We'll get it cut back on tomorrow. It's not like we didn't have the money to pay it. It just slipped. We got a lot of stuff going on. It happens. You human. So, like she said, we took the little baths in the little sink and everything. We got quite a bit of bathroom. So, we were like, all right, we gonna save the one downstairs for the, we'll use the ones over here. And then the one over there, we'll do this. And it's the one we'll just do number 1 in. So we was,
thank God it was just overnight.
Look, we had a system though. After all was said and done, we put a system together.
Yeah.
And that's what I mean. When stuff happen in life and it changes, you just have to adjust. You can't panic and have a meltdown for everything. And I get, people be tired and they're overwhelmed. And, when you have, every day something crazy happening, then I got that. Because we went through that.
Yeah. So,
but it can't throw you into a tailspin to where it tears up everything. Your marriage, your kids. It can't tear up everything. Because when it get back right, you can't really.
There's some victims on the side that got hit, but I'm just grateful that you are who you are, and that you quickly pulled me out of that, because that was something that I didn't even expect to happen. When it first happened, I was like, okay, I'm sorry, babe. I do not know how I misread this bill.
And I said, okay, no
basically
problem.
we was, just kind of getting acclimated to how their system works.
Yeah.
And so I was like, okay. But then when you left, it was everything in my head.
Yeah.
This is just like you used to do it, and you didn't. You should have read it, kept more. You should have read it, kept more. More attentively, so you could, precisely so you could make sure that you did this and.
Yeah.
This is the same thing that used to happen in the apartment. Da, 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 da. Oh, I
came
talk
back.
myself up into a whole tizzy.
I came back and walked that spirit right on up out the house. No, we ain't doing that.
Okay, go to the next one. Go to the last one, baby.
But I want to say traumas are real, man. No matter how big or small it is, and you don't know how deep traumas go until you see it in every area of your life in some kind of way, shape, form, or fashion. Yeah. You have to let some of that stuff go. You have to. You have to let all of it go.
That's what I was going to say.
And if all of it. And if some of the stuff is trauma that you saw, trauma that was in your life, trauma that you had to deal with, or trauma that happened to you. Yeah. Some way, shape, you have to let it go. Yep. You have to be delivered from that stuff, and you have to let it go. Because that's the only way you can build new memories, right? Put other things in place. If that stuff, if trauma's still in them areas, then there's no way nothing else is going to fit. Right? No way.
Yeah. Go get you a therapist, y'all, if y'all need one.
They help
y'all get through it, talking it out, and how to deal, and what things to put in place so you can literally, because some people are just walking around just a traumatic, a whole traumatic body.
And you just got a whole section of your life that don't nobody know about except the people in the past and you. So you don't think you done went somewhere and just you on a different platform now. You just go reinvent yourself. Right. But they you still can't reinvent yourself.
They still there if you don't deal.
Yeah. You just can't.
Yeah.
You can't. When you go to reinvent yourself in that little space where you going to reinvent that process, go on and see you somebody and work on them traumas. Go on and see somebody and work on that stuff. Because they real.
What's the last one? What is talking about?
A past indiscretion.
Oh, I did read. Yeah. So basically this one is saying something that you've done, in the past and you've, it had devastating consequences when it happened. Yep. But you've recovered from it. You chose not to tell the people who are now in your present, whether it's your wife who never, or your husband who didn't know about it, that it happened back then, way back when. Like you say, you starting this new, fresh, new life on this new level, and, they don't want people to know about the past. They want them to know about the Johnny now. Yeah.
Not the Johnny about the Johnny past.
Not the Johnny who held the store, this the Johnny who robbed the store. Yeah. And, now I've been out of prison for a while. You done got yourself together. You got a new wife. But
well, I had to get myself together. When I robbed that store, it wasn't planned. Right. I just did it out of desperation. Right. And then going to jail wasn't part of my plan.
Well, then it says that something, happens to uncover.
We lying. That's not that.
Right. It's not. It's so not. Well, we just using it as an example.
My manager looking like, this is a part of your life you never said.
Right. It's really not. That's not true. What? But something happens, and then so all the stuff that has happened in the past, the devastating stuff or devastating thing, that you didn't want your husband or your wife to know, and so now they're doing everything to handle it on their own. Yep. Do you know how stressful that is? But the anticipation and the fear of exposure becomes an obsessive hold. Yep. On their psyche. Yeah. Keeping them trapped in an internal battle of emotional terror. What if my partner don't want to be with me anymore when they find out that I did so-and-so? What if they once did now? What if what you once did back then threatens their current life? This makes me remember about that movie where I cannot call the name of it, but we was watching it where the woman was, I think I started it and then stopped, and then you started it. We started it back together. But it was the husband and the wife, and they were like, she had a British accent or something like that, the light-skinned lady. And remember, in her former life, she was a stripper and stuff like that or whatever. Yeah. Right. And so
too close or something.
She was, with some guy who was, who was a customer who tried to like beat her up or kill her or something like that. And so she just literally overnight ran from that life. Right?
Went far away.
Right. And so now she's in this new life where she married. Kids. No, they got 3 kids. 3 kids. Yeah, it was 3 of the kids.
Was it?
Yeah, it was 3 of the kids.
I know it was
because
an
I think
older
it was
girl.
the older girl, and then it was the young girl, and I think it was a boy.
Okay.
And then, but she is in this new life, and then she is but you know what? Her and the man wasn't married yet. Remember?
No, they was gonna get
They
married.
right. They were
But they were living
together. For a long time. Had 3 whole kids together. And then the ladies have her a bachelorette party, and remember she went back to the old club for whatever reason, and somebody saw her. And so, of course, this started bringing out the old people, because she thought the guy was dead, who was trying to harm her or kill her or whatever.
Yeah.
She, but the old people who found out that, she's still alive. She didn't drop off the face of the earth. They come back, and so things start happening. And so now it eventually comes out, that she was this person who she was in the past and all that stuff. I don't even think we even finished the series.
I think we did.
Did we?
I didn't think it was no more. We might have didn't. I'm trying to find it.
I know you are, but of course, we ain't gonna sit here until we find it. However, that movie reminded me when I was reading.
Stay Close.
Yeah, that movie. You went
Stay
back and found it.
Close.
See, we didn't finish it, did we?
We
may not have, but it's on Netflix, y'all. But that scenario reminds me of that. Like you
had a whole life.
Like a whole nother life.
Your new person in your new life. You done changed your name. She changed her name, everything. Mm-hmm. And then the crazy thing is some of the stuff. So once somebody, I guess, spotted her. Uh-huh. They found out where she lived at, and then they started leaving little clues and stuff at her house.
From her past.
So she saw it, and then I think she went to the tennis game. One of her kids was playing in a tennis match. And
she saw one of the ladies who was a stripper with her on the other side.
I think that she ran the whole thing.
Oh, okay. Well, she was on the other side of the court.
But when you watching tennis, you like this. That's like it was. The little lady was sitting on the other side, and the other lady was just staring at her. So you got a whole sea of people doing this, and one person just like this. So she was looking, and then she looked, and then she saw the lady, and she was like,
"Oh my God, how did she find me?"
And then she got up and went to the bathroom, and another girl went. But that's how
it pretty much spiraled after that.
Yeah.
But that's just to show you. But this stuff happened in real life. And do you know how the same paranoia that lady was having, trying to hide stuff, trying to do stuff on the low, trying to figure out how they know, where she is now, and trying to still keep that past life separate from messing up her soon to be marriage and her kids' life. So it's a lot of stuff that can come as an effect. Yeah. As a after effect from you not, I guess, just being upfront about what it was in the past. Because if a person if a person has been called to you and is gonna love you, you gonna love me for all of this stuff that I had going on in the past.
Look,
and if they're not, then they ain't the one for you. That ain't who I am now.
If you love me all and want to marry me and all this stuff, before we get married, this is what I need to tell you, and just let them know. That way, if it come back up, you ain't opening up. In your life, you can't have something that we've talked about gateways before. You can't have a private gate to yourself in your section that somebody else got the key to, and they got the key to, but you think you done hid so good that they can't find you. Then they find you, they open up the gate, and then they walk in. And now you got somebody that that's in your life that came back into your life, but then your whole family don't know about it.
Yeah.
Complete stranger. So, yeah, you got to tell the truth. If they can't accept you for everything, then
yeah, and you're most definitely going to withdraw after that.
Yeah,
because you trying to hold secrets and keep things on the low and keep it from coming out.
Now you breaking a trust,
right? And now your wife or your husband, if it's vice versa. Now they trying to figure out, well, what in the world is going on with him?
Who are you?
Right? Like, why are you acting like strange? Yeah. And you won't, it's a problem for me to look at your phone. You don't want to tell me where you going. You going for, distant, different amount of times. I don't know where you at. I can't. It's like you fell off the
Can't
grid.
get in touch with you.
Yeah.
You said you was going to the store. You going for 4 hours. The store 10 minutes up the street. What you doing? Answer your phone.
Yeah. Excuse me. It's just a lot. It's a lot that comes with all that.
And that's a lot of pressure. That means if you done been and not telling your spouse. A lot of people feel like if I don't tell you, then I didn't lie.
Or it was a lie of omission.
Yeah, so it was a lie of omission. So,
and that part of my life ain't gonna never touch you. So I don't have to say it. But
then it raises up, and then guess what? It'd be like, hey. And now because you ain't said nothing, and it done been 12 years, y'all been together and got a whole family in a house and cars and all this other stuff. Now you can't damage none of that stuff. So now you got to try to create another cover up.
Or I had a whole family that I left and came and started. Why you just sounded like me when you said that? It's time to go, y'all. It's time to go.
And sad, and this is the thing, sad to say, more men do that than women. More men will leave their family and do a reset and then be a perfect husband and a perfect daddy in their second marriage, in their second life or whatever, than they were in their first life. And they will always say, well, my wife that I got now is better to deal with.
Well, baby, that's a whole nother story.
Yeah, that is. I ain't gonna
we can talk about that next time, but that's a whole nother story.
So
yeah, but those are the things. Like, but pay attention to what's going on.
Yeah.
Again, constant communication. If I see something changing that I know is kind of out of the norm, ask Johnny, y'all. I ask questions.
Yeah.
Sometimes questions I ain't never asked before.
Yeah.
And
sure do.
And then he do stuff like get in the bed and come real close to my face. Why did you ask me so? Because I want to know, like, what's going on. Let me know. Listen, it's just me and you in this house.
Yeah.
And we not finna be withdrawn from nothing.
At any time, a disconnect or feel anything, like I told her today when we were driving home, I said, I need all of you. I need get off your phone, put the phone down, talk to me about your day. Talk to me.
And I had to tell you about that. That I needed all of you as well.
You did. Those conversations are real.
But we're just that honest. Right?
We are real. Like,
ain't nobody got time to be playing no games.
If any type of disconnect or pull away or withdraw happens,
what you got going on, Joker?
We in each other's face like, what's going on? And she'll be like, what? You was on, what was happening? You're taking calls outside. What is it?
Nah, I ain't taking no calls outside now because he won't beat me on my foot. That'll cause me to have a whole black eye with a whole bunch of makeup on.
Yeah, if you
no, let me stop saying that.
If the phone ring and you walk all the way outside, before you close the door, you can try to close the door. My body will be right there.
What you doing?
Who
we talking to?
We got a conference call outside. Well, come on. That's cool. We can do that.
How what?
We can do that. Anyway,
we're done, y'all. We want y'all to grow in your marriage, grow and succeed, and be open with one another. Sometimes it ain't gonna be the best conversation. Sometimes you might mess the conversation up. You might just let that petty part of you, rule you that night. It might say something that's off the wall. But again, it's saying I apologize. I'm sorry, baby. Sometimes you ain't even did nothing. Yeah. But I'm at the point to where I think we're at the point to where it ain't even worth it. Like, what we doing? Because we ain't about to be walking around in this house not talking to each other. What's going on, baby? What's going on with you?
Yeah.
Did I do something? If I'm sorry. I apologize.
Solution minded.
Yeah.
It can't. We
got too much to do.
Too much to do, and we are dedicated to protecting our relationship. And this is the part. We're dedicated to protecting our relationship, even from ourselves.
That's good.
So we protect it from other people coming in and trying to damage it, but you can damage your own relationship.
Yeah.
with your feelings and, your emotions and all this stuff that we talked about tonight, the betrayal, the trauma, and all this stuff. So, yeah, you got to be intentional about it.
Yeah.
You got to be intentional about your relationship. And you can't look at your spouse and say, you good? And she say, no. Oh, well, I'm straight. If Deirdra ain't good, I ain't good. If I ain't good, she ain't good. We got to be good. Right now, we responsible for each other in our relationship. So at one time, it was me, Deirdra, and all the kids. Now it's me and Deirdra. So we got to protect this more than ever. So even from ourselves. Because sometimes we get in our funk and then, walk by and I might, bump into her. And she'd be like, Joker, 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 come here. What's wrong? And I don't lie and say nothing. I'd be like, I don't want to talk about it right now. That's something I told my wife because she used to tell me nothing while she cried and was having a straight meltdown.
Anyway, uncover me like that.
Anyway, we about to go. We hope this helped. This is from one of our favorite articles, our resources, Psychology Today. Yeah. So if you feel or notice that your partner is withdrawing, then find out what's going on. Because if you don't, that can damage your relationship.
What's going
and the more your relationship get damaged, then separation can happen. So don't allow that to happen. Protect your marriage. Protect your relationship.
And keep moving up on the right side of the mountain together as husband and wife. We love y'all. For all things Mobleys, go to www.momentswiththemobleys.com. We're on Facebook and Instagram and YouTube as the Moments with the Mobleys. We are on Twitter as Mobley Moments. And just, look us up. Go on YouTube. Make sure you like the page, subscribe, hit the bell so you can see when new episodes come out. And go to Facebook and look at Moments with the Mobleys and view our reels and stuff like that. And we appreciate y'all.
Yeah. And we did another platform called Fireside.
We did.
Probably about 2 weeks ago. So we're gonna start it next week, and then we'll have it on the regular. Unfortunately, Fireside is only for Apple users.
However, we'll
so
still
you can see it live.
Right, but we'll still be on our other, platforms.
You'll still be on our other platforms, so you'll still be able to see it. So with that being said,
with all that being said,
we bid you good night.
Dundable.
Your man. This has been Moments with the Mobleys, and I am your man, Johnnie Mobley Jr.
And I'm his wife, Deirdra Mobley.
And we something like an ordinary couple.
With extraordinary purpose.
Peace out, y'all.
Night night.
We went kind of long.